Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm David, and I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique competitor, Toni McMurtre, to the podcast.
Hi,
Toni,
David. Thanks for having me.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Toni has been competing in bodybuilding since the 1990s when she competed in the fitness category, and she turned pro in 2016 in women's physique at the Women's Nationals. And her most recent pro show was at the Optimum Classic in Shreveport, Louisiana, just a few weeks ago in late May. But welcome to FBB Forum. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Now, my first few questions are about how you got started in bodybuilding, and I was wondering if you had an athletic or sports background before you started in bodybuilding.
Absolutely. I ran competitive track my whole life, which honestly, I think that paired with genetics built the roundness. I was a muscular kid,
Mhm.
did gymnastics, did cheer, and I guess post college started looking for a sport, and this was an interesting sport to find. When I was a kid, I was interested in bodybuilding because I was a muscular kid,
Oh
and
yeah.
it drew a lot of attention.
Do you mind me asking how old are you now?
I am 47. I do not
47.
mind.
That's awesome. Wow, very cool. Yeah. I remember back in the day when, ESPN and NBC, showed bodybuilding on TV and it was great. I wish they still did, because I think it introduced a lot of people to the sport.
Absolutely, like accidentally coming across it,
Uh-huh.
surfing to.
Yeah, they even had a live Ms. Olympia one time in like 1991 or something like that, and it was live on ESPN. I was like, wow, it's so crazy, but yeah.
I remember crazy looking for, when the internet was first available. I sound so old, but when the internet was first available and finding it and finding information and seeing real bodybuilders. That sounds so funny, but you could only catch them in magazines back then, so it was pretty cool.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I was the same way. I'm 49, so I'm about the same age. So yeah. Um, so now I was curious, how did you get started in bodybuilding in particular, and who convinced you to do your first contest?
Oh, there's no convincing. I wanted to do it forever. When I was a kid, I would ask my parents for weight equipment, and they were like, "Oh dear God!" And then I think my eighth grade year, I got this weight bench that they found in like a penny saver, and it drilled into your wall, and it had cable systems, and the ankle cuff from that machine is literally one of the ankle cuffs at Stroud's Fitness today.
Really? Wow, that's so
It's so
cool.
funny. Every time I use it, I'm like eighth grade. It's so funny. So bodybuilding had always seemed like this kind of lofty dream for me. And I dated my husband in high school, and we split up through college. And then when we got back together, he was at Stroud's in the bodybuilding scene, and
Okay.
it was like click. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I want to get on stage. And he was great friends with a lot of trainers. And next thing I knew, they were training Brian's girlfriend, and I was getting ready to compete, and I wanted to do fitness, and they were bodybuilders. Winston Williams, who's actually a phenomenal friend and a great trainer, and he helped me prep for nationals in 2015 when I did lightweight bodybuilding,
Okay.
and he was like, "Okay, I'll prep you," and prepped me like a bodybuilder when I was a fitness girl. So it was a lot of fun. Looked great. It was so much fun.
That's really cool. That's so cool that you've had that kind of history with it and that much interest as a kid too. That's really neat.
It's crazy. I think it's funny. When you're a kid, you don't really recognize, but I was a muscular kid. And so when people would go, "Show me your guns," it was something that you'd kind of like, okay. And then running competitive track really rounds you out. Your
Yeah.
booty's round, your shoulders are round, your quads are round, your
Uh-huh.
abs are round. And I don't know, you look at a sprinter's body and they could take stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of those women are really muscular and they look really good. Yeah, that's true. And with some have gone on, like you have gone on to compete
Yeah.
too. So um now I was curious, and this might go kind of far back since you were interested as a kid, but did you have a fitness role model when you were a kid or when you first started competing?
Oh, Corey Everson. Oh, the posters. Yeah, the bikini and the way her body was, again, so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Corey Everson. And then when I was competing in fitness, it was Mia Finnegan and it was Monica Brandt.
Mm.
And again, these just great physique icons.
Yeah, they were both awesome. Yeah, I really like Monica
Yes.
and Corey
Yes.
was.
To this day, Monica Brandt, to this day, Corey Everson.
I know
Seriously.
they both look amazing. Yeah. Corey always had such a great posing routine too. You know, she,
Mm,
yeah, just incredibly
so
creative.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so much energy too, I was curious when you first got on stage and up in a bikini doing a
Oh,
competition, were you nervous or do you still
good
get
Lord,
nervous
yes.
these days?
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. I am not a, hey, let me show you my body person. So I kind of laugh that this is a sport that I choose. In my gym every day, I'm in a pair of scrubs and a t-shirt, you know.
Uh-huh.
I actually laugh that I look like a homeless man every day because when I compete, people are like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "No, it's me. I have hair." Yeah, it's so funny. So to choose this is very much it's wild, but it is almost like a character, not a character up there, but you're tanned and you have hair and makeup and your suit is like this gown because it's so done up and your makeup so over the top and your jewelry and so for me you're like it's like prom night, you know, you're done up. And in fitness, it was a literal character. So in bodybuilding, it's more of kind of like, you know, women's physique, it's more of your soul out there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, because you're bodybuilding, I'll tell you what, prejudging for bodybuilding with no bling, nothing on your suit, lean as you can get, dry as you can get, and just you in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, there's my soul. You know,
Uh-huh.
this you kind of have that armor of the bling. That sounds really stupid, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand
it's a
that.
beating.
No, I bet that, yeah. What about these days? Do you still kind of feel nervous though? Or
Now the better with maturity, how's that? Instead of with age, comes this kind of power, this kind of confidence. Um, it's you versus you. It's not you versus the girl next to you that places top five and everything that she's in. You know,
yeah.
you just can't. I don't know. It's funny. This is a funny journey, especially when you have stops along the way. This is a funny journey because
Yeah.
I'll have people look up and be like, God, you're still competing. And I'm like, I'm just getting warmed up. Hang on a second.
Uh-huh.
I'm just getting back in this game and feel like I'm just hitting a stride for the first time, really in not in my life, I can focus on it, but man, I got 4 kids
Yeah.
and that's a
Wow.
lot of life. To bodybuilding is a selfish sport, and thank God my husband loves this sport, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The yeah, you mentioned earlier about before we started in terms of you had some stops and starts. Like how many kind of stops and starts did you have with
Oh
bodybuilding?
goodness. I stopped in 1999 until '08, and
Okay.
then went '08 till 11, and then stopped in 11 until 15. And 15 was funny because I wanted to come back, but I didn't want to come back locally. I just wanted to go to a national show. And I remember like dear Mr. Udit.
Uh-huh.
like, here's my history. Please let me come into your show. And he's like, come on. So it
All
was
right.
nice. It was nice. Yeah. Just going straight to a national stage for lightweight bodybuilding and kind of assessing what the lightweight bodybuilder has to do. You have to take the overall.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the lightweight. I got a middleweight, a middle heavy, and a heavyweight bodybuilder.
Oh
That's
yeah.
gonna, you know, so I'm like, oh
Uh-huh.
goodness. And so then in 2016, I went back as women's physique because that's your top two at Masters.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
was much, I was like, okay, hang on. I don't have to beat a 160-pound human being
Uh-huh.
at 112 pounds. You know, you're like, come on. So that was nice.
Yeah. No, I think like we said, yeah, women's physique, I think is the right spot for you. And you're
Thank you.
yeah, you look really great on stage. I saw you compete at Shreveport and yeah, you looked amazing. So
Thank you. Thank you. It's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Now my next few questions are about competing and so tell me about your experience at Shreveport. That was your first show this year and maybe your only show, maybe?
That was unfortunately might be my only show. Again, unless, but I'm gonna. It just feels like it is right now. It was
Sure.
great. Loved it. Prepped for it. Loved coming into it. To me, I always want to look better than I've ever looked. And so
Hmm.
that was the journey and heading into this, you know, we were like, okay, our parts are in place. I just feel not that I'm late to the game. I feel like I'm getting here on my time, but it's later than your average bear. So the stride that I'm hitting now, I probably should have hit years ago, but I'm getting it in my body responds to this sport. And again, I feel like it's in my path. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. So
That's great. Yeah. I kind of think it's neat that you have a lot of kind of institutional knowledge about the sport too, just
thank
from
you.
from competing for and doing the stops and starts like you mentioned too.
And when I stopped, I coached people, and which I realized if you're going to put that much time into the sport, I'd rather be on stage than be behind it. I
Mhm.
got to work a few shows. That was super fun. Getting to expedite backstage and getting to help competitors, getting to just, again, be a part of it is great. I love the NPC. I love the Texas NPC. Love
Yeah,
the IFBB. It's just letters that bring happiness.
that's awesome. Yeah, I know you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, you said, right?
Yeah, it's like it's huge. How many, like when you look up and realize who is where, and you got Ronnie Coleman right up the street, you got Branch Warren, I got Johnny Jackson in my gym every single day since
Wow.
1996. So
Wow.
it's a lot of fun to like be at the I'd say the coffee pot. We don't have a coffee pot, but like the office coffee pot, and
Uh-huh.
be rubbing shoulders with the world's greats casually through the years. So it's a lot of fun.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
pretty neat. It's funny to kind of just come in our gym and not realize, wow. I'm like, yeah, and we're so kind of quiet about it. Like I laugh to Johnny. I'm like, I should plaster you everywhere every day, which we've actually done this year, on Instagram. Thank you, Johnny
I've
Jackson.
seen that. No, I did notice that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's
No shame in that. I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
seriously, yeah. So it's fun. We're doing we're sponsoring his show, the Johnny Jackson Classic, in August in Fort Worth. So excited about that. Again, I love this sport, and being able to do anything with it's fun.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Yeah. Um, I was curious, when at Shreveport, did you get any feedback from the judges and where you need to improve?
Not yet. I've asked. I think I have to make sure my messages are getting through. But I did ask for feedback and look forward to receiving it. I know that my package that I'm bringing in, I kind of look up and go, okay, when did I look best in the last 24, 48 hours? And I just feel like kind of getting that. And it's like I need feedback, but I need feedback from the best
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
And if they see me kind of
Oh, hey, Tony.
the best, it's hard to,
Oh, okay, go ahead, Tony. Sorry about that.
I am looking forward to receive the feedback. I just need construction so I can kind of make that map and head toward it. So right
Okay.
now I'm just grinding, just doing the grind, kind of doing okay, I need the X frame. Okay, I need a bigger back. I need a smaller waist. I need a tighter rump. So I just kind of do the autopilot until I hear back, but I haven't heard back, but I look forward to it.
Okay, great.
It
That's
helps.
awesome. Yeah, I think it's helpful to have that feedback.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially for,
Absolutely. It helps you kind of drive where you're going. You
mhm.
can just keep going, but you're like, oh shit, we're going the wrong way this whole time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hear directly from the judges, I think is helpful for
Mhm.
sure. Um, Now I was curious, what is your favorite muscle group to train, and what would you say is your least favorite?
Um, I'd say shoulders and biceps because you see them, arms, it's fun. I'd say probably legs. Legs, I mean, and I've got meaty legs. Again, being a sprinter my whole life just helped to build that. But having that kind of the deeper, heavier you have to go. And I'm like, man, I really wish I could do this without going so deep and so heavy. That
Yeah.
sounds silly. Some people love it. The bottom of a hack, when I'm like, oh my God, how many more of these do I have left? That's probably my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but I think it's funny when you're not that when you're good at it, but you have to challenge yourself more. I'm like, man, like if I take time off and when I come back, I'm like, well, I don't have to lift that much. Like it's kind of this funny where you've been lifting a while, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more weight than that. And I'm gonna have to pause at the bottom of this, and I'm gonna have to go more reps, and I'm gonna have to do another set, and I'm gonna put my sets closer together. Everything just, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, I understand. Yeah. No, that's one thing I wanted to ask you, and I forgot to ask, did you compete last year?
I did Tampa last year, which was awesome, and I did Fort Lauderdale. Both offered open and masters, and I competed in both. So it was a great year last year. It was a lot of
I did see you
lots
in
lots
Tampa.
of experience last year.
Oh yeah, I saw you compete in Tampa. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I was there because I live in Tampa anyway. So
Oh, awesome. To me, I love having a show, and Optimum had this in 21 where you can do Masters and Open.
mhm.
Do I believe I can compete as an Open? Absolutely. Do I enjoy it a little bit better as a Master? Yeah, I do. Uh,
Yeah.
it's so I like kind of getting both of that because I totally get that I have to in Open, and I'm crawling my way up in Open to kind of have that tie for 16th,
Uh-huh.
with 17 other people, and then and then to place 15th and be like, oh my God, I placed 15th, and my parents are like, she's excited about placing 15th, and I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, oh my God. It's just
Uh-huh.
this funny, it's this funny, like, and you see people kind of side-eyed, like, damn, she's
Uh-huh.
satisfied. And I'm like, I'm not satisfied. I'm again crawling up. So to get 10th place in the IFBB when you're like, oh my God, are you satisfied with that? I'm thrilled as hell to get 10th. I mean, am I satisfied? No, but am I excited? Hell yes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I
I
mean,
know.
it's a tough sport. It's to go from, and I always compare this. I say, your Texas NPC is high school football, okay,
Uh-huh.
and then your national level is college,
Yeah.
and the IFBB is the NFL. And I'll tell you what, to go from college football to the NFL, you are like, holy shit.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
true.
it's you see these people when your idols become your rivals and you're standing next to them in line to get on stage and you are like, wow. And so to still be swimming and to still be fighting when people are like, you got tan? I'm like, I don't even like tell people what I got. How'd the show go? It went great. Thanks for asking.
Uh-huh.
You
Sure.
see them kind of like, where'd she do? And I'm like, thanks for asking. Yeah. Because you don't get 10th places. Freaking awesome.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I know. And it's just so much work to get up there on stage and all that work you put into it ahead of, beforehand too. So I think it's really admirable. I think you look, yeah, you're doing a great job, I think.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, Now I wanted to ask you a few questions about prep and coaching, and I was curious, what would you say is the toughest aspect of competition prep for you?
Oh God, dieting over a span of weeks. I'm a junk food junkie. So, oh man, it is so. And once I kind of flip the switch, I'm okay. But for me to be out in the abyss for any length of time is like, and I laugh because I'm a personal trainer, and so my clients are like, "What's bad for you?" And they'll kind of make fun of me. I'm like, "Oh man, you have no idea. I can damage some dessert, and I love like food." So for me, dieting again, and smarter cleaner. I'm knocking on 50, so I can't be this insane yo-yo. So dieting by far. The work, I don't mind. The cardio, I don't care. The weight training, I'm in a gym every single day. My husband lifts, my kids lift. I mean, I love it. But dieting over everyone's birthday, my anniversary, and then
Yeah.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, it just becomes kind of part of you. And I don't know, everyone kind of gets used to it. But yeah, that's the grind.
You mentioned having four kids too, and that'd be tough to like cook for the kids and have like some yummy stuff there that you can't eat probably.
It is. And just to see the amount of food, and they're all guys. I mean, all four of them are boys, and just the amount of food these humans can eat. And they're older now. I mean, they're 28, 21, 20 and 17. So they're older now, but and they'll eat. So I'm like, okay, there's a bunch of salmon cooked. Hey, there's a bunch of steak cooked. Hey, there's a bunch of chicken cooked. So now it's a little different because they kind of eat what I eat. But growing up, yeah, I'd
Mhm.
make something for everybody, but I'm eating all day, and what I'm eating at that meal is not necessarily what they are. They didn't really pick it up that much, but yeah, kind of existing around it.
Yeah, I understand. I bet that would be tough. Yeah. I talked with Sherry Priami a little bit about that, and she's about the same age as you, and she's got three kids, but having that like tasty stuff that she would cook for the kids and then just be tempted by that, I'd just be, oh, that's tough.
Baking it one year, and it was '08, and it was like 5 days before a comp. And I had a kid's birthday, and I was moving the cake from this like broken down box into like this Tupperware container. And in the process of the move, I look over and there are these like little icing blips, and I'm like, Like I can have like one. We'll like finish it and I finish the rest of the cake and then I throw up violently for like a half an hour. It was
Oh
like, it was
no.
like, it was a nightmare. And it was so like, oh shit. But it's funny. I mean, I looked okay on stage, but it was like freaking, oh my God. I keep having that what if, what
Yeah,
if.
I understand. Oh my gosh, too much temptation. Oh man. Now, like you mentioned, you have a gym and it's Stroud's, right? Is the name of it?
Yes, Stroud's Fitness in Hurst, Texas. Yes, sir.
And that's in Dallas Fort Worth area.
It is.
Yeah.
It is right between Dallas and Fort Worth, and it's been around forever. Again, our previous owner unexpectedly passed away, and he was just the greatest friend to all of us. And three of the trainers that have been there forever just kind of looked at each other, and we were like, "Man, we gotta keep this place alive." And so stepped up and stepped in, and absolutely lucky to get to do so. I mean, this place is amazing and iconic. And you
Mm.
look at our walls and you see the people that have passed through here, everyone from, Betty Perizzo and Ronnie Coleman through Mayla Ash. And again, these Olympia, Monica Ellis, these Olympic level competitors. It's really amazing. Again, everyone from
Mm.
Dre Dillard. It's really neat to look and to see and be like, wow, they trained here. I'm like, they're here right now.
Uh-huh. That's so
It's
cool.
funny. It's funny.
Now, how long have you been involved with the gym, or how long have you owned it, too, or
Um, Probably a year, 2 years, 2 years, year and a half. I don't, that sounds funny. I don't know, but I've been there since 96 and the world, you look up and you're like, how long ago was that? How long have we been? Uh, so, about a year and a half on ownership but have been a part of Stroud since 96. My husband
Wow.
was actually the front desk trainer when this was the whole reason why I started going there because he was hot and
Oh, very
so
cool.
started going to Stroud's for that. It's kind of funny.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Not
awesome.
funny. Yeah.
That's great that you've been with that gym for so long too, Yeah, that's a lot of history.
It is. It's an amazing, amazing place. So it's neat.
Yeah, I
Thanks
was
for
curious.
asking about that.
Oh, no problem. No, I thought it was when I looked it up, I thought that was really neat. Now you talked about being a personal trainer. Now, do you train bodybuilders or is it more lifestyle people?
I do, yeah, I do lifestyle now. I did to me, I kind of laugh about competitors because they are a pain in the ass, let's be honest. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And to have one, you are 24/7, and they're like, I'm in my car crying. I'm like, okay. So to kind of like when I did take that role on, believe me, it was you're like a mom all of the time. So my clients are normal human beings, or what I call them. And then the other half, I'd say I probably have about 25% personal training clients and 75% cheer clients. I'm a gymnastics coach and a cheer coach, but I'm a personal, so I don't take squads on. If you don't have a back tuck and you would like one, you come to Coach T and Coach T teaches you a back tuck. So I'm a
Cool.
personal cheer coach, a personal tumbling coach,
Okay.
the way I'm a personal trainer, but it's high school and junior high girls, so it's fun.
You train them at your gym there? It's
Oh
Stroud.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're going to Coach T's gym, and they get there, and it's a bodybuilding gym, and I know they're like, "Where the hell are we?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is Coach T's gym." And
Oh.
as we are, I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna drive up and around." You hear slam, slam,
Uh-huh.
because people lift really heavy weights at Stroud, so it's funny. We're in the
Wow.
aerobic room, and it's funny. Yeah, we're a tough gym, and so the cheerleaders embrace that, and they kind of like, "We train at Stroud's." I'm like, "Yeah, you do."
That's very cool. That's so cool. That's awesome. Um, Now I was curious, in terms of do you have a prep coach or opposing coach?
Absolutely. Mayla Ash, love her. She's amazing. I've known her for, God bless America. I've known her for over a decade. And
Oh,
I will prep myself often through the years. Like I prep myself for Tampa. And as I was heading into Tampa, I was like, I'm so like, I would love to be like, hey, what do you think? Because you kind of I'm way harder on myself than I would be on any other human.
yeah.
And the cuts you make on yourself, or where you're like, I can
Hmm.
do that. And then you're like, okay, hang on, my heart needs to continue to beat. So it's
Mhm.
very nice kind of going and getting a subjective, someone that looks at you. And so I had known May for a million years and she was at Stroud's and I roamed in, God, just a handful of weeks before Tampa. And I'm like, I need your help. And it was she's like, of course.
Yeah.
And and I posed with her heading into Tampa, and then coming out of Tampa, I was like, hey, let's do a show together. And so we did Fort Lauderdale, which was like a 14-week prep. And wow, she just opened my eyes to
Mm.
so much, so much, so much. I feel like I'm like a brand new person. And prep with her for Tampa, and then went into the off season, and then came out and prep with her for Optimum. So
Okay.
so she's just got great ways. She's smart, and she cares. That sounds funny. I've prepped with a handful of coaches. I'll prep myself, and then I'll be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I'll
Mhm.
use someone, and then I'll kind of fall off onto my own, and then I'll use someone, and then I'll kind of, and so to be under her wing was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's a great competitor. She's
Yeah.
I was pleased that she went to bodybuilding too, because
Oh
she's
my God.
got
Have you
amazing.
seen her? Have you seen her like in real life? Have you seen her?
I have, yeah, she's
Holy
amazing.
mackerel, she's so impressive. Like,
Yeah,
I always laugh to my husband. I'm like, I feel pretty good. And then I get next to her and I'm like, what am I doing in this sport?
she is. She's really amazing.
So
Yeah,
funny.
her waist is kind of tiny, and she got that amazing back and everything.
She's
And
like, it's
yeah,
awesome.
I
Holy mackerel.
know that's incredible. Yeah. Now, does she help you with posing too, or do you have a posing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, she does?
She's the one-stop shop. And
Yeah.
and 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 to me, when you work with someone that's kind of like, you think they're okay, and then you work with someone that's awesome, I'm like,
Mm,
people, get
mm,
a coach worth of crap. Oh my goodness. It is
yeah,
night and day. You
I
feel so
bet.
taken care of. And I'd be like, I mean, billboards, holy crap, she's just awesome. You just feel
Mm,
so complete.
yeah.
Everything from vitamins and minerals to water to food to cardio to training to posing to mindset.
Hmm.
Holy mackerel.
It
Yeah.
probably helps that she's kind of living it too, because she's also competing, and so
And
she's
she's a champion, like her, again, just as an athlete. I'm like, yeah,
that's
like your
awesome.
own, like, John Maxwell wrapped up in a great body. It's crazy. It's, yeah, very strong.
That's awesome. Very cool. Now that's good segue to my next question. Like, what advice could you give to up and coming competitors that are looking for a good coach?
Make sure they're a good coach. If you're doing anything extreme, and I hate to say that because you do extreme shit in the sport, but to me, when I turn and people are like, no carbs for weeks, I'm like, you really need to check yourself
Hmm.
because fat burns in a carbohydrate fire. There's things that you need to know. Not one time did I ever look at what she wrote and was like, I might die this week. Where I have trained with people in the past that I'm like, my heart needs to continue to beat, right? You understand that. So it's funny. So every move I ever made with her for the I never went, are you sure? Where
Hmm.
some people you're like, or you look over at competitors and you're like, baby girl, you're a bikini competitor. You probably don't need to go to these extremes
Hmm.
where if you have a coach that knows what they're doing, it's such a better journey. So
Sure.
my warning is take a look at what I hate to be like what your coach knows because you really don't ever know. But if your gut is like, man, I don't feel good, or man, I'm beat up, or I'm not sleeping, or I'm not eating. She asks me that all the time. How are you sleeping? How's your stress?
Hmm.
How are you sleeping? What?
Hmm.
Thanks. That's a great question. I
Yeah.
mean, she's made me go and get blood work done. She's made me go and get just to see how we feeling, how we doing, you
Yeah.
know?
That's really good. Yeah, I think looking out for your health is so important, and being attentive to your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father passed away during a prep this year, and
Mm.
for her to kind of look up and to kind of see where I am, where you
Mm.
at,
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss though. Yeah,
thank you.
I bet that was rough. Yeah.
It was horrible. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Um, Now I wanted to ask you a little bit about like family and home life, and
Okay.
your your husband, is he also a bodybuilder? He looked like he was in pretty good shape when I saw him.
He's in he's in phenomenal shape. I laugh about him like all of the time. We stepped into the elevator at in Tampa, And we're standing there and a competitor steps in and looks at him and he's like, you compete this weekend? I'm like, oh my God. It was so funny. So yeah, he looks phenomenal. Now, my husband is an owner and a partner of an architecture firm. I kind of laugh about that. I'm like, he's
Oh
an
yeah.
architect. He's a bodybuilding architect. He actually he's like a power builder, loves
Uh-huh.
powerlifting, but loves the look of bodybuilding. And the it's funny again through the years because he coached all the boys in sports. In
Uh-huh.
2011, he's at the Pee Wee Super Bowl, and I'm in Miami at Nationals. It was funny, like
Really?
this, like
Wow.
So he's certainly taken one for the team through the years, and just recently, again as the kids get older, he's been in the gym all of the time. And when you live in like a house with a competitor, I don't know. I think it's funny. He like I will fall like I will drive for a show, compete, go into a little off season. Not, you know what I'm saying? I'll fall off for a second before I climb back on.
Hmm.
And probably since 21, he has not fallen off. He'll
Okay.
have a burger, but he'll just continue dieting. And then when I start dieting again, I think he's got physical goals that he wants to hit. And again, when you couple with someone that does it, it just makes life nice. So he's at the gym not as much as I am because I'm a trainer, but he's at the gym all the time. It's nice. And
Is
then one of our sons competed last year,
really?
and he's yes, and he is lifting like crazy right now. So he'll send in the family text, just rode 160s, the dumbbells. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, here we go. It's funny. It's funny. It's like this,
Wow.
like, yeah.
That's really cool. I bet you're a proud mama. That was it your oldest that competed?
That's number three, baby. Number three.
Really? Wow, that's so
Mhm.
cool. Yeah,
And
that's
he's put on so much. He did classic, but he's tall. So that number cutoff, you really got to put size on. And then his girlfriend competed and she's doing bikini right now. And they moved nationals. Yay! To Dallas this year.
oh, I
How
know.
cool is that? So
That's not
awesome.
good for me though, because I used to go when I was in Orlando. So
You had it for years.
I
You had
know
it for
that's
years. Okay. Give it up. It hasn't been here in like 20 years. It has been forever since it's been in Dallas. So it's nice. I'm like, we're in the middle of the United States. Give it to
yeah,
us.
that's true. Yeah. It was in Miami too, I remember, and I went to Miami a few times, but having it in Orlando was great. It was nice because
I laughed. I did a women's physique in Miami in 2011. And there were like, God bless them, there were like 70, 74 girls in my class. And I
wow.
got 13th, and I was like, holy shit. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
got 13. But I walked from the venue to the hotel, it was just a couple of blocks. And I'm standing at the corner, and this man kind of looks at me and he's like, excuse me, or pardon me. He said, may I ask why we have so many fine physiques in our city right now? I'm like, brother, you've got nationals here. There were
Uh-huh.
so many bodies there were thousands. It was crazy. 2011 was pretty awesome.
That's a lot. That's a
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know if I ever went to one that was that busy. There that
God,
many
it was
people.
huge. It was huge. There were so many people. And was it the first year? There were so many people. I was like, holy crap. And we were heighted. So my husband's here, at the Super Bowl, and he's like, hey, what do the girls look like? I'm like, exactly like me. We're all short with, we're all the same height. We all have dark hair, long hair, and it was crazy. I'm like, from behind, you would not know who was who. It was
Really?
nuts.
That's funny.
Yeah, and
Oh
crazy.
man. Um, we're running a little low on time. I only have about 4 minutes left. But I wanted to ask you just, do you find it kind of hard to juggle the work life and home life with your bodybuilding career?
The older my kids get, the easier it becomes. Although I do say, I don't know how normal people do this. Being a trainer really makes it easier being in the gym.
Yeah.
Being a professional, I could see it being very difficult getting everything in.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, I think that would be really tough.
It is. It is.
But
It's
working,
just time consuming.
yeah,
Mhm.
very time consuming. Yeah, that's true. Um, I was wondering if you were in a leadership position, what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding and how would you try to make it better?
Um, I don't know. I think painting targets that are clearer to see. Um, I feel like we're getting there right now. Like if I look up, I feel like I could see a competitor and guess her division easier than I could in the past. I do
Mhm.
hear some people say women's physique is too big. It's like bodybuilding. I'm like, have you seen bodybuilding? It's to me when you see us in real life and when you stand me next to Mayla. you
Mhm.
can see the difference
Yeah.
between women's physique and bodybuilding. You know, and if you stand someone by themselves, yeah, but when you compare the classes, I feel like it's getting easier to distinct between them.
Okay, good. Yeah. And I think the women who would move up from physique to bodybuilding, they make big changes too, to distinguish themselves.
I honestly feel like those that have moved up, it's their genetics, and their genetics are saying, "You're gonna lift, we're gonna get big,"
Yeah.
and you can either fight that or you can embrace it, and you can go in and do what your body wants to do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah. Um, I don't know if I have enough time for another question. What it
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No, no. We covered everything really well. If you don't mind though, do a flex for me, but you got to talk because of the camera.
Okay, it just cuts off. All right, I kind of not so hard right now.
Oh,
I'm like
good.
pancakes,
Yeah.
pancakes, whole grain pancakes with sugar free. Yeah. So a little bit.
Yeah, you look great. Yeah, I think you look
Thank you,
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
So gonna put some upper back on and come back next year. I tell you what though, it's froggy because you really want to. Like right now, I'm like, Texas is 10 weeks away, and that's literally where my brain is right now. And I'm like, calm down.
Oh yeah. So you're not
Because
gonna.
it is. Texas is here. It'll be the week after. I've got two moving to college. And so it'll be like the week after they move. So could I don't know, hold my shit together? We'll see.
Yeah, at least or be a spectator at least. So
Yeah, oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
100%. Did you go last year?
No, I never been to
Texas
Texas. Yeah,
Pro.
that's a good
Texas
show.
Pro was insane last year. It was awesome.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I just wanted to thank you so much for your time. And I'll get this posted soon, and I'll include Instagram for your coach and for Strouds and everything
Thank you.
down below. But thank you so much for your time, Toni. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me. It's fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.